You can listen to Football for Kids completely ad-free by signing up on Patreon or on Apple Podcast subscription. You can also link Patreon to your podcast player via Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Without adverts, there is no show. This episode is brought to you by our partners at Everton FC. Do you want to go behind the scenes at Hill Dickinson Stadium and explore the club's brilliant new home on the banks of the River Mersey? Now you can. Everton Stadium tours give fans a chance to step inside the dressing room, see where the manager prepares the squad on match days, follow in the footsteps of their heroes, walk down the tunnel to the sound of Zed cars and emerge pitchside for some unforgettable photo opportunities, including the chance to sit in the manager's dugout. How cool is that? It's a brilliant day out for football fans, families and anyone who loves seeing what happens beyond the touchline. The tours are fully accessible and open to all ages too. If you fancy seeing Everton's new home up close, booking is online only at evertonfc.com/tours. Hello grown-ups. Are you already starting to think about the summer holidays and how to keep the kids busy? Yeah, I thought you might. Today's podcast is brought to you by Kellogg'S Football Camps, a brilliant solution for families looking to keep kids active, having fun and building confidence this summer. With camps for girls and boys aged 5 to 15, Kellogg's are offering over 39,000 free places at sessions hosted by over 70 pro football clubs across the UK. From Colchester to Cardiff, Glasgow to London. It's a great chance for kids to get out, to play football and make new friends over the summer break. To book a free place, just buy a promotional Kellogg's Football Camps pack and scan the QR code to choose a club near you. T's and C's apply, subject to availability. Welcome to the Football for Kids podcast with me, Darren Rees, and welcome to this very special Kellogg's Football Camp Super Week. This is day 2 of the Kellogg's Football Camp Super Week World Cup special. In this episode, we're going to be talking about a certain Lionel Messi and his career in the World Cup since his first ever World Cup in 2006, as we go into his 6th World Cup in 2026. 6 World Cups, 2 decades. What a player and what a journey. Now, I want to shout out as many football teams as I possibly can over the World Cup period. So, if you play for a team, please ask your adults to get in contact and send me an email at darren@footballforkidspodcast.com. Tell me who you are, tell me who your team is, tell me who your coaches are, and tell me who plays for your team. And your team and your teammates and your coaches could appear on the podcast over the World Cup period. Right then, let's get into it, shall we? And just to let you know, this is part 1 of 2. Because what a journey it has been for Lionel Messi in the FIFA World Cup. There is football, and then there's the World Cup. The flags, the fireworks, the roar of tens of thousands of people bouncing around the stadium until the concrete beneath their feet seems to tremble. It's the biggest stage in the game. The place where heroes are made, hearts are broken, and moments live forever. And it feels like nobody has travelled through more World Cup history than Lionel Messi. His adventure began in Germany in 2006 when he was just 18 years old with long wavy hair. And the footballing world waiting to discover what he might just become. 20 years later, he's doing it again. From a teenage wonderkid, from tears to triumph, from crushing disappointment to the greatest night of his life in Qatar. This is the extraordinary World Cup story of Lionel Messi. When Lionel Messi arrived in Germany for his first World Cup, he was just 18 years old. He didn't have that fancy beard, he wasn't a global superstar, and lots of people knew who he was, but nobody knew him like we know him today. He was a teenager with shaggy hair, a wand of a left foot, and a body that had been causing plenty of worry. A thigh injury suffered while he was playing for Barcelona against Chelsea had kept him out of a Champions League final just a few weeks before. But Argentina had brought him to the World Cup anyway. The manager knew what an unbelievable talent he was, and any moment of football that he could play, he knew that a moment of magic could follow. On the 16th of June 2006, inside a rumbling stadium in Germany, the World Cup caught its first glimpse of Lionel Messi. Argentina were already 3-0 up against Serbia and Montenegro when the teenager was sent onto the pitch. The crowd roared, the noise rolled down the stands, and Messi immediately began to fizz around the grass like a firework with football boots. Within minutes, he had raced into the penalty area and created a goal. Then came his own moment. A pass slipped through, Messi darted forward, opened up that magical left foot of his and fired the ball into the net. Argentina went on to win 6-0. Messi had announced himself to the World Cup with a goal and an assist. Not a bad start, I suppose. Argentina's World Cup dream ended in Berlin, beneath the bright lights and deafening noise of the quarter-finals against the host nation, Germany. Argentina were 1-0 up, but then the game began to twist. Germany pushed forward, the stadium shook, and with 10 minutes remaining, Germany headed in an equaliser and the match went to penalties. Germany went on to win the match 4-2 on pens. And while Argentina's dream disappeared into the Berlin night, the 18-year-old Messi could only sit and watch from the bench. And you bet, he would have been thinking in his head, one day, maybe, just one day. 4 years after his teenage adventure in Germany, Lionel Messi arrived in South Africa as a completely different footballer. 4 years is a long time, and he was now 22 years old. But the secret weapon was not a secret anymore. By now, Messi had become the reigning FIFA World Player of the Year, a blur of boots, balance and bewildering dribbling who could make defenders feel as if they were chasing a shadow through the fog. And waiting for him in the Argentina dugout was a very famous footballer who had now become the manager. Yep, you guessed it, it was Diego Maradona. Argentina's great World Cup hero was now the manager. It was a football story fit for a film. The legendary number 10 from the past, leading the magical number 10 for the future. The world was watching and the pressure had grown enormously. South Africa 2010 did not sound like any World Cup that had come before. From the moment the players stepped onto the grass, the stadiums began to buzz. Thousands upon thousands of people were using these things called vuvuzelas. They blasted into the air. They sounded like an enormous swarm of bees circling above the pitch. The noise rattled the stadiums. It poured out of the television screens. It followed players everywhere they went. And to tell you the truth, it drove people crazy. Messi found it almost impossible to speak to his teammates during Argentina's opening victory against Nigeria. "It is impossible to communicate," he said. "It's like being deaf." But Argentina kept winning. And although Messi could not find the net himself, he was darting, dribbling and twisting through matches, trying to unlock the door in his very special way. Argentina's final group match took place against Greece. And as the players prepared to walk out to the vibrating hum of the stadium, Diego Maradona handed Messi the captain's armband. Messi was still 2 days away from his 23rd birthday. That day, he became the youngest footballer ever to captain Argentina at a World Cup tournament. Greece tried to stop him with bunches of defenders. They followed him, crowded him, and tried to close every little gap that he could potentially see. But later in the match, Argentina finally broke through and scored. Then Messi drove forward and hammered a shot towards the net. The goalkeeper pushed it away. But Argentina got the rebound and won 2-0. The young captain had helped them march into the knockout rounds. It was magical stuff for Messi. Argentina had won all 4 of their matches so far. The Vuvuzelas were still buzzing, the blue and white shirts were still bouncing in the stands. But in the quarter-finals, beneath the bright sunshine in Cape Town, Argentina ran into a German storm yet again. Thomas Müller scored after only 3 minutes. Then, in the second half, Germany tore forward again and again. Germany went on to win that game 4-0. It wasn't a narrow defeat, it was a hammering. Messi had played 5 matches in South Africa, but had not scored a single goal. 4 years earlier, he had left the World Cup as a teenager, waiting on the bench, watching his team get beaten by the same team on penalties. This time, he had left as a superstar, carrying the weight of an entire footballing nation. 4 years later, the World Cup arrived in Brazil, one of the greatest places in the world when it comes to football. The land of golden beaches, beating drums, and football played with a flick, a shimmy and a smile. Lionel Messi was now 27 years old by the time this tournament had come about. He was Argentina's captain yet again, and everywhere he went, the pressure followed him like a shadow. Could he lead his country to glory? Could he follow in the footsteps of Diego Maradona? At times, the strain appeared almost physical. Messi had experienced bouts of nausea on the pitch. His manager believed nerves and anxiety might have played a part in this. But when the whistle blew, Messi did what the greatest footballers do. He took all of that pressure, tucked it beneath his blue and white shirt, and he began to play in the way that he does. Messi scored in Argentina's opening victory, but his next goal was even more dramatic. Argentina were playing Iran. The match had drifted into stoppage time. The score was still 0-0. Then Messi collected the ball outside the penalty area. He glided onto his left foot and curled a beautiful shot towards the far corner. The ball rolled beyond the goalkeeper's fingertips and nestled inside the net. The stadium erupted. Flags whipped through the air. Supporters bounced in the stands. Messi disappeared beneath a pile of celebrating teammates. Then he scored twice more against Nigeria. 3 group matches, 4 Messi goals, and the frustration of South Africa and Argentina's number 10 was glowing in the Brazilian sunshine. Argentina's next match was against Switzerland. The game became a bit of a battle. Legs grew tired, shirts clung back, penalties were getting closer. Nobody wants that, especially if you're a player. Then Messi burst forward. He carried the ball towards the penalty area and slipped a perfectly weighted pass into his teammate. Di Maria swept it into the net. Argentina went through. The crowd went crazy. Eventually, Argentina would then go on to play the Netherlands and defeat them. Messi had begun the tournament beneath a mountain of pressure. Now he was 1 match away from the greatest prize in football. Waiting for him was, of course, Germany. The World Cup final took place in Rio de Janeiro. The noise tumbled down from the stands. The trophy glittered beside the pitch. Argentina were close over and over again. The match drifted into extra time. Then, in the 113th minute, Germany scored. Germany went on to win the World Cup. Messi was named the tournament's best player, but he walked past that golden trophy and his face said it all. His face told the real story. He had come so close, he could almost touch it, but it just wasn't meant to be. Before Lionel Messi could play at the 2018 World Cup, he had to rescue Argentina. Their final qualifying match took place in the capital of Ecuador. It was in a stadium which sat almost 3,000 metres above sea level, where the air feels thinner and every sprint can bite into your lungs. Argentina had to win if they were going to make it to the World Cup. Then, disaster struck. Ecuador scored almost immediately. Argentina's World Cup dream was beginning to wobble, but Messi took a deep breath and took control. He scored once, then twice, then he scored a 3rd time. A brilliant hat-trick from the captain. It was a one-man rescue mission. A footballing superhero arriving just as the danger sirens began to scream. Argentina won 3-1. Messi was taking his country to the 2018 World Cup in Russia. But the hard part was still to come. And that brings part 1 on the Lionel Messi World Cup story to an end. Join me next time as we discover the rest of his journey. From Russia 2018 to that incredible night in Qatar, to what's to come in the 2026 FIFA World Cup in the USA, Canada and Mexico. And remember, if you know someone who loves football just as much as you do, then please tell them about the Football for Kids podcast. And whether you're playing football soon, watching it on the telly or pitchside, I hope that you enjoy the game. See you next time.